Thank you for logging on to the Voice Sports Network for this broadcast of high school sports. We encourage you to go to the games and support your area teams. We know you have a choice, and thank you for choosing us. This broadcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the sponsors you hear throughout the game. We encourage you to visit their businesses and use their service as often as possible. Be sure to tell them thanks for their support. Now, sit back and enjoy the game, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, good evening, Raider Nation, and welcome to WellsCountyVoice.com. I'm Kevin Sills, joined here with Todd Bonvino, and tonight we've got a great contest. Southern Wells Raiders are hosting the Adams Central Football Jets. So let's see what we've got in store tonight. The Jets, I believe, ranked in the top 10 in Class 1A football. Southern Wells right around number 16 in Class 1A in Indiana. Both squads between them only have one loss. On the Adams Central side, of course, they're undefeated, opening up the season against Belmont, winning that contest 21-20 in a real close one. And Belmont, a good squad, so that was a very good victory. East side, they defeated them 26-12, then took on Indianapolis Broad Ripple, won that contest heftily at 63-19, then traveled to Jay County, a 4A school, beating them at 43-7, tackling Heritage 41-0, and last week taking on South Adams and beating the Starfires 40-3. And of course, this season on the Raiders side of everything, they open everything up against this Southwood Knights at 26-6, winning that contest, taking on the Eagles of Fremont 49-7. Getting the Patriots at Jay County, defeating them 40-26. Park Tudor 40-28. Did lose against a very good Woodland squad, 20-61. And then last week, taking on the Bluffton Tigers. And Bluffton Tigers, having more of a down year, but a very good squad. They had a good running back in Dwayne Eskridge, though he was hurt a little bit last week. But Southern Wells won that one 41-27 to get Street Fair bragging rights. And then it brings you to tonight, October 2nd, against Adams Central. After this game, there'll be two more games left in the regular season against Heritage and South Adams. And then, of course, it's almost that time of year, sectional time for football. So, Todd, what have you seen so far this season for the Raiders?
Well, they're stuck to their bread and butter with their wishbone set, tried to exploit the running defense of opponents, led again by, of course, Mr. Bonowit, Gavin Barkus, and Keaton Coleman. So they've done a pretty good job. They've got a good record. We did, see that one loss against Woodland, who's a very, very talented team. So, I've seen Adams Central several times over the last couple of years. They're averaging over 40 points the last 5 games. They typically run a wishbone set, a three receiver set, and their primary look is a double wingback with motion that they like to run. They're led by Andrew Hammond, who I did games when he was a freshman. He's now
Thank you for logging on to the Voice Sports Network for this broadcast of high school sports. We encourage you to go to the games and support your area teams. We know you have a choice, and thank you for choosing us. This broadcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the sponsors you hear throughout the game. We encourage you to visit their businesses and use their service as often as possible. Be sure to tell them thanks for their support. Now, sit back and enjoy the game, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hyundai Motors is celebrating 40 years of serving Wells County and the surrounding area with an outstanding selection of low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that are in fantastic condition, and their ASE certified technicians in the service department offer oil changes, brakes, AC tune-ups, as well as a full line of replacement parts and tires, and are the best in customer satisfaction. Visit HyundaiMotors.com to browse their inventory of new and used vehicles. T.W. Fable, a modern American restaurant, is located inside the clubhouse at Timber Ridge Golf Course at 2330 East, 250 North in Bluffton. You can enjoy a fine dining experience Tuesday through Thursday, 5 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 5 to 10. Kitchen closes 1/2 hour prior to lounge. If you are looking for a great spot to have lunch, visit 250 Grill to enjoy some sandwiches, wraps, salads, and appetizers. T.W. Fable Restaurant, 2330 East, 250 North at Timber Ridge Golf Course. Reservations recommended by calling 260-353-1360.
It took Subway restaurants to do flatbread sandwich great, fresh roasted until its flavor reaches the towering peaks of Mount Delicious. You may have had other flatbread, but once you sink your teeth into this appetite-busting mountain of flavor, you'll know this is the real deal. Get any of your Subway favorites on our full-flavor flatbreads and let your taste buds sink into the delicious depth of goodness. Subway of Bluffton, eat fresh with 2 locations to serve you in North Main and inside Walmart.
At First Bank of Bern, you can depend on us for checking accounts that fit your needs. We have free checking with no strings attached. Absolutely free checking with a free Visa debit card, free online banking, even mobile banking. Stop by or call any First Bank of Bern office. We'll help you find a checking account that is perfect for you. First Bank of Bern, employee-owned and conveniently located. Visit us online at firstbankofbern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What do you guys want to eat for supper tonight?
I want paschetti.
I want paschetti.
Paschetti's Italian restaurant, where yes, you can get spaghetti and so much more. Subs, sandwiches, burgers, calzones, pizzas, salads, and a whole menu full of Italian cuisine and desserts. Paschetti's restaurant is conveniently located at 229 West Market Street in Bluffton, and they're open for lunch 11 to 4, 7 days a week.
Fine, we'll go to Paschetti's, but I want some garlic knots.
Paschetti's, open Monday through Thursday 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Sundays 11 to 8 p.m. Paschetti's Italian Restaurant, 229 West Market Street in Bluffton.
Paschetti, 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 paschetti.
Hyundai Motors is celebrating 40 years of serving Wells County and the surrounding area with an outstanding selection of low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs that are in fantastic condition, and their ASE certified technicians in the service department offer oil changes, brakes, AC tune-ups, as well as a full line of replacement parts and tires, and are the best in customer satisfaction. Visit HyundaiMotors.com to browse their inventory of new and used vehicles.
Indiana is filled with fabulous golf courses that offer a variety of experiences and are as diverse and distinct as the regions they're in. And there is one right here in your backyard that you shouldn't miss. Green Valley Golf Club, located at 2635 East, 150 North in Bluffton. You deserve a little time on the greens, so book your tee time, brush off your spikes, and get ready to play. Green Valley Golf Club, located at 2635 East, 150 North in Bluffton, just east of the Stone Quarry.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let me, Kevin Beatty in Bluffton, help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money too, because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call me, Kevin Beatty in Bluffton, today and get to a better state with State Farm. 824-1928.
At Warren Pharmacy, we offer local delivery, accept hundreds of prescription insurance plans, offer special ordering for hard-to-find items, have home health care and convalescent supplies, stock Nature's Bounty, Windmill, and basic vitamins, and Nature's Sunshine nutritional products, along with many other services provided. Warren Pharmacy, 222 North Wayne Street in Warren. You can reach them toll-free at 800-895-7035. Warren Pharmacy, we're big enough to meet your needs, yet small enough to know your name.
Are you taking the first step towards a healthier you, or are you just tired of the same workout? From beginners to fitness veterans, the Greater Fort Wayne YMCA is the place for you. We offer a full range of workout equipment, personal trainers, certified instructors, a full line of classes, an indoor pool, and so much more. Have peace of mind when you work out with childcare available. The Greater Fort Wayne YMCA is so much more. Join today. Visit fwymca.org.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to DeKalb High School in beautiful Auburn, Indiana. We appreciate you paying attention to our sponsors there for a few minutes as we worked on some technical issues with our new software. This is Greg Van Meter along with Noah Tobias. Noah, how you doing up there?
I am very cold up here. That's how I'm doing. But, hey, I can definitely do this for the football game. Yesterday I was at the senior night for the girls' soccer team, and me and some of my stupid buddies were out there with our shirts off and all painted up. So if I can do that, I can certainly do this.
That's right, because you know what, Noah? Nobody likes a whiner.
Exactly.
We're just about set here for the kickoff. DeKalb will be kicking off to your Norwell Knights. The Knights will start out going from our left to our right. Clear off that overlay of the game preview. Still working out a few kinks with the software. I've got DeKalb's name on the scoreboard, but I could not get rid of their East Noble logo. So I guess from a fan standpoint, we appreciate you putting up with that. The Knights come into this one 0-6. DeKalb on the season, what are they, 1-5? Or are they undefeated, or no wins, 0-6?
I believe they're 1-5. Oh, they're 3-3, okay.
3-3. So Norwell still looking for their first victory of the season. And we're underway. It's along the ground. It's fielded at the 35 by number 88 for the Knights. That's Colt Rinkenberger, and that's where the Knights will start. And that is not something wrong with your screen, nor is there a fire in the stands. That appears to be a whole bunch of, what is that?
It's like pink smoke. I'm not sure what the student section was just throwing up there, but it is Breast Cancer Awareness Week. So that's why you're seeing
looks like some
pink
kind of
socks and pink shoes and all sorts of stuff.
Looks like some kind of chalk.
Yeah.
That they're throwing out there. And, of course, the wind coming from the northeast, blowing it right over the field of play. Norwell starting out at their own 35. And under center, Carson Gerber. He'll hand off, and stuffed for about a yard loss is Carson Ringer, I believe.
Yep, you're right.
Ringer?
Yep.
Just a sophomore. The Knights put a couple of scores on the board last week against East Noble at home when the second squads were in. A couple of good-looking freshmen for the Knights. Levi Leidig put it in the end zone.
And then Peyton Laley also put it in the end zone for Norwell.
That's right. Bray Wilson split out to the right here with Gerber in the shotgun. He'll keep it and lose yardage again all the way back to the 30. That'll bring up a 3rd and 15 for the Knights. That's the one thing that we can put that up there too on our scoreboard. There we go. So much to play with here on this new software that we have. We can show timeouts. The 3 yellow lines that you can see on the Subway scoreboard represent the timeouts. That pass over the head of Ringer, and the Knights are going to be 3 and out here on their first possession of the ball game.
That's going to be really tough to punt the ball tonight.
Wind pretty strong out of the northeast. It's been strong the last couple of days. I know Amber Nelson at the state finals of the girls golf tournament today shot an 84, which is pretty doggone good considering the heavy winds that they experienced today.
And also Norwell's tennis sectional, Bluffton won against South Adams tonight. So
there you go.
Definitely South Adams was the team to beat. So I give kudos to Bluffton because I didn't think that they were going to win. But when I heard about it today, I was shocked. But I was also pleased.
Well, the punt from Hunter Engel nets about 21 yards, and the Barons will take over from just on their side of midfield. 1st and 10 for the Barons.
I talked to Coach Gerber today about what they might see against DeKalb. They said that they probably see a lot of passing plays, but because of the wind, they weren't sure if they were going to see a lot of that. But whenever they do put a running play in there, they certainly get a lot of yardage out of that.
Well, Bryce Harrison was in the shotgun, but he hands off, and a nice gain on the first play from scrimmage for DeKalb. On the carry was number 34, Derek Padilla. That's Harrison Price, by the way. Has his name backwards.
And the reason why DeKalb has a lot of passing plays is because of number 4, I believe his last name is Christensen. Chrisman.
Yep, Will Chrisman.
He is 6'4" or 6'6", I forget, but he's a very tall guy, and there he is right there. Gets DeKalb's first down of the night.
Chrisman, a very good athlete, of course, plays basketball for the Barons as well. And Noah, you mentioned Breast Cancer Awareness Week, the cause for these pink socks for DeKalb, pink shirts on the cheerleaders as well. Is that different at every school? Different weeks?
Usually, it is usually the same week for every school. So if you look on 21 Alive tonight or 15, you'll see a lot of that pink socks or wristbands or gloves, towels, anything like that.
That run by Trevor Boyce, I think, got the football on that. Not sure. He didn't get very. In fact, he got backed up about 3 yards. That'll be 2nd and 13 for the Barons. 8:58 left here in the first quarter. DeKalb in their first possession. I was explaining to Dean Gehring earlier, no, it can be hard for me to spot the numbers sometime. Price back to pass as he rolls left, looking downfield, and finds Chrisman again. Chrisman going to be close to a first down at about the 22 of Norwell. Boy, he is a big target, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And I asked Coach Gerber, what different things will you guys do tonight to keep the ball away from Chrisman? He said that along with the cornerback out there, they will try to put a linebacker out there, but it's not looking like they're doing that so far, so I'm a little surprised.
Single coverage on him so far. Boy, he's got a mismatch in size on that right side as well. Price couldn't get it to him, throws it into the end zone and short That was Boyce that had gotten free at the back of the end zone, but the pass fell just a little bit short. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 21, we'll call it. Still so windy up there, Noah?
It is. It's kind of dying down a little bit, but it's still fairly windy.
The forecast that I got from Dean Gehring is that the wind would die down as the night went on. I hope that's right, because it has been really strong the last couple of days. Price keeps it, goes over the right side, has a little room to run, and he's going to be close to another first down for the Barons.
I believe it should be 3rd down and 1. And yep, that's what they're going to put it as.
So DeKalb being pretty efficient with their offense so far. 7:53 left here in the first quarter. DeKalb with 3 wins on the season. Not sure who those wins were against, though, to be honest with you. Another inside handoff, this time again to Derek Padilla. And Padilla appears to have gotten the first down. Padilla is just a sophomore, listed at 5'7", 195, so pretty solid, not real tall, but it'll make it 1st and goal for DeKalb now. From just inside the 10-yard line. I'd probably mark that, we'll call it the 9. Price in the shotgun. He's got Chrisman wide right. That's where he's been lining up on every play so far. As Price looking for room to run, breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone. Did a nice job of twisting his body and getting that ball over the cone. DeKalb takes a quick 6-0 lead at the 5 mark here in the first quarter, and they've got the cannon beyond the south end zone. Gets my attention every time they shoot that off, Noah.
Yeah. Most definitely. It's just like East Noble.
Right. Out to kick. Number 3, as the kick is good. Number 3 for DeKalb is Alec Brunson. He makes it 7-0. And DeKalb with a quick 7-point lead here. This is similar to the way the ball game started out last week, Noah. East Noble on their first possession scored.
Yep. Really last week, the thing that killed Norwell was just a bunch of dumb penalties. Lots of holding penalties. I believe there was a personal foul penalty. Just really stuff that didn't need to happen. If Norwell just plays just a little bit smarter, they could have a shot. Just they got to clean up their game just a little bit.
Yeah, I know that's been something that Coach Miller's talked about all year with this squad, trying to minimize the damage that they cause themselves. Of course, this is week 7 already, so only a couple more games in the regular season here.
Yeah, next week Norwell will be at home hosting Huntington North, their first conference meeting in history.
That's right.
I guess.
Part of the new Northeast 8 as Huntington North joins this new conference.
And then I believe in week 9, Norwell will be going to Columbia City.
Right. That's traditionally their last game of the year. And it could be pretty doggone cool by the time 2 more weeks pass. As that kick fielded, a little trouble there by 22 Connor Nash.
32 Peyton Laley.
Okay. Oh, yep, sure was.
Well,
no,
that's not. That is.
It was Connor Nash.
No, it's 32, but I think it was Levi Leidig.
Oh, okay, yeah. 32 is Levi Leidig, who talked about him a little bit in our opening. Just a freshman, but really, I'll tell you, really physically strong freshman. He was basketball player, football player in middle school. Don't believe he played soccer.
No, because that would be, well, no. Middle school soccer goes in the springtime, so I guess it's possible.
Right, but I don't think he played.
No.
Gerber will hand it off inside to Leidig, and he'll be stopped about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Norwell has tried to go over the right side almost exclusively to this point. They're lining up against Derek Sloan, and well, Steve Alon is linebacker back there, but Sloan on the left side. Well, now he moves over to the right side. Lined up, that's Ty Meyer on the defensive side of the ball for DeKalb, and Gerber with another handoff, and it looks, he might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
I mean, that's set up right there to play. I mean, do it.
That'll bring up third down for the Knights. 12 to go for a first down. Norwell, I would guess, is in negative yardage territory so far.
Yeah.
Ball spotted just inside the 25.
Norwell's not really putting on a show so far, so hopefully they can get something going with a big play just to boost their confidence.
There's a pass over the middle. It's complete. And a well-thrown ball by Gerber to Colt Rinkenberger. That'll be a gain, but it'll be 4th and about 4 for the Knights. And I got to believe they'll be kicking again here.
Yeah, they will be. Hunter, go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to say Hunter Engel back out there to punt again for the Knights. Deep, that's a 15-yard snap, and it's a low snap. Bobbled by Hunter. He gets it off, but it's partially blocked in the middle of the field and fallen on at about Norwell's 44 by number 86 for DeKalb. That's Blake Purdy. He's a senior, and DeKalb will take over at Norwell's 44. 4:47 left here in the first quarter.
And Greg, I also thought that Hunter Engel was standing pretty far back.
Yeah, he was.
Especially with this wind, you would think that he'd be standing just a little bit closer.
Thinking typically that's a 10-yard snap, but where he was lined up, it was about a 15-yard snap. That's a long way, as that was a direct snap to the runner. Price trying to put a good fake on. That was Derek Padilla on the carry, and he got back to the line of scrimmage, say the officials. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Again from Norwell's 44. Too many buttons to hit on this new software. Too many things to play with.
They're just trying to keep you occupied, Greg.
Well, they are definitely doing that. Has Price back to pass. He looks Crispin's way. Now he goes over the middle, and that throw a little strong. Appeared he was aiming for Alec Brunson, who was being covered by Brody Meyer there in the middle of the field. Incomplete, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10 for the Barons. Norwell looking for their first win of the season. DeKalb already with 3 of those in the book. Have to look up their schedule. They have the New Sentinel High School football preview from earlier this year. Great piece put together by the New Sentinel staff. As Price back to pass over the middle. He finds Brunson this time for about 14 yards. That'll be a first down for the Barons.
And as soon as that wide receiver cut to the inside, there was nobody from Norwell there. It was wide open. So that was a really good heads-up play by DeKalb's quarterback.
And a big third down conversion there for the Barons. DeKalb will be at Belmont next week. Belmont with a huge game tonight at home against New Haven. Belmont, of course, undefeated in conference play after that big win over Leo last week. There's a good play by the Norwell defense. Connor Nash coming up with a tackle of quarterback Price in the backfield. That'll be a 2-yard loss. Well, about a 1-yard loss, I guess, for the Barons. Nash did a good job of pursuit there. Price, a pretty tall quarterback. They list him at 6'3". Pretty athletic as well, as he demonstrated on that touchdown. He'll fake the handoff this time, rolling right, looking downfield, and he'll go long into the end zone, and it's caught. As Will Chrisman, that was Brody Meyer down in the corner trying to cover him, but Chrisman doing a good job of getting, I don't know how he got behind him on that play. It appeared as though Meyer had him pretty well covered, but Chrisman with those long arms able to haul in the pass. A well thrown ball by Price to make it 13-0. 2:51 left here in the first quarter. The extra point is up and strong and through.
Nope, it's no good.
No good. Oh boy, that looked like it went right through. All right, so it'll remain 13-0 DeKalb. We'll take a real quick break here and show a video clip from one of our sponsors. Well, here in Auburn, Norwell trailing by 13 already. And another tough start for the Knights. That's kind of been their MO all year long, Noah.
Yeah, really nothing positive about Norwell's football game so far. They just really need to get a confidence booster. A good run back right here with good field position would really be nice. Jaron Staubenhagen is back to return the kick.
He's the deep man on either side of him. I believe that's Leidig on this side. Can't tell who's on the far side.
I can't tell either.
As the kick is again on the ground. They're really keeping it away from Norwell's deep receivers. That is Leidig, though, and he breaks a couple of tackles and almost out to midfield. Nice run by the freshman, and by far the best field position the Knights have had so far. And on this, their third possession, they'll spot it at about the 48-yard line. 2:43 left here in the first quarter.
Norwell need to take advantage of what Leidig just gave them. So far, in the past games, Jaron Staubenhagen has really done a good job of getting better at running the ball back and not really worrying about people that are just in his way and trying to juke him out. He's putting his head down and going. Levi just did the same exact thing. He didn't worry about who was in front of him. He just left.
Well, Carson Gerber in the shotgun, and he'll keep it. And a nice play defensively by number 60. That's Ty Meyer. Got in there and dropped Carson for about a 5-yard loss, it appears. And Norwell is going to burn a timeout here. So we'll take a quick break, hear from a couple sponsors, and be back after these words.
This is your moment. Explore the University of St. Francis. Known for our quality academic options and dedicated professors who practice in their fields, you will discover the perfect program to fit your interests and goals. Hands-on experience with internships, clinicals, and co-ops makes a USF education a great value and investment into your future. Apply now at sf.edu. We are seeking applicants for $15 million in scholarships this year. This is your moment. Believe.
Coach Miller not liking what he was seeing right there, Noah.
No, he was not.
Quick timeout. And the offensive line has been pretty porous to this point, especially on that left side. Gerber's going to try to go left again on the keeper. Turns the corner and is going to get back to about the original line of scrimmage. Yeah, they put it right there, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, last week I was talking to Hunter Engel, number 75, and he told me that from now on, every lineman on the offensive and defensive side has some subs waiting on the sideline for him, and Miller will just put them in whenever he feels like it, because he is just not happy with the line at all.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for the Knights so far this season. Gerber back to pass, has a man open, and not able to haul it in. Is that Wilson?
Yeah, that is Wilson.
Bray Wilson. The pass was a little low, and Bray couldn't get his hands under it. That'll bring up 4th down again for the Knights. Engel back to punt, and this time he's still set up about 15 yards back there. Good snap this time, and as the punt gets caught in the wind, it'll be caught and fumbled at the 34. We'll see who recovered. I think Norwell came out of there with it. 62. Curtis Blackwell possesses the football, and Norwell with a big break.
Good to see him getting down there and making a play. At D1 material, right? That's D1 material right there.
Yeah, when a big guy can get down that far downfield and recover a fumbled punt like that. Well, the ball was marked at the 35 of DeKalb. Gerber goes over the right side, and a nice pickup here by Gerber. That's going to be about a 5-yard gain.
There's a flag, and it's in holding territory.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Yeah, it is on the Knights. So they'll bring that one back. And they'll start marking it off at about the line of scrimmage. So that'll bring it all the way back to the 44-yard line. It'll be 1st and 20. Yeah, we'll call it 19. Give the Knights the benefit of the doubt from the Barons 44-yard line. Boy, beautiful sunset. Too bad the fans can't see that. We're looking directly at it here as we face west. Gerber dumped in the backfield. Zach Jones, the first to meet him there for about a yard loss. And that'll bring up 2nd and 20 for the Knights. As no, we can. How close are you to the Norwell
coaches?
Coaches, yeah.
Oh, pretty close.
Yeah, I can hear them.
Yeah, you'll probably be hearing them all game too.
Gerber with a pass over the middle, in and out of the hands of Rinkenberger. That was a well-thrown ball.
It really was. I think Cole tried to pull it in fairly close to his body, and what ended up happening was the ball just bounced right off of his shoulder pads or even his chest.
Yeah, I was going to say that was off the middle of his shoulder pads, and I don't know if he heard footsteps or he was just trying to turn upfield too quickly, but as it is, it'll bring up 3rd and 20 for the Knights. They trail here by 13 with 26.4 seconds left in the first quarter. Gerber again back to pass to the right side, and not able to hold on was Bray Wilson. He was met just as the ball reached him by number 23, Jack Ashelman. That'll bring up 4th down again for the Knights. They've really had trouble moving it. In fact, their biggest gain was on a fumbled punt. Have Hunter Engel punt for the 4th time already this evening, just in the first quarter here. Movement on the Norwell line, but no whistle as another decent punt. Thing is, with the wind blowing that way, you're not going to get any roll.
You're starting to hear it in my microphone there for a second.
Yeah, big time, as a big gust of wind held that punt up a little bit. DeKalb will take over with 10 seconds left on the clock. First and 10 from their own 21-yard line, we'll call it.
Yep.
They lead by 13. They've scored on their first 2 possessions already. As Price will look to throw. Good pressure by the Norwell defense. Now he's going to put it down and run over the left side, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 20. Just as the horn sounds for the end of the first quarter, the Barons leading the Knights here 13-0 in Auburn. We'll take a break, hear from a couple sponsors, and be right back.
At First Bank of Bern, our personal commitment to the communities we serve is our main goal. It's a time-honored commitment that keeps the financial needs and concerns of our customers our #1 priority. We're owned and staffed by your friends and neighbors. We count it a privilege to be an active part of the communities we call home. Strength, security, tradition, and a century-plus commitment to the generations of the customers and businesses we've so proudly served. First Bank of Bern. Depend on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, here at DeKalb, the Barons with a 2nd and 11 here to start the second quarter. They lead by 13. Derek Decker supplying us with some stats here off the bat in that first quarter. DeKalb, 8 carries for 22 yards and already 72 yards passing on 6 attempts, 4 completions. Norwell with a net 0 yards on 13 plays in the first quarter. In contrast, DeKalb 94 yards on 14 plays.
Keep driving,
As they're gonna, boy, that's a long. Noah, are you kind of surprised that they didn't blow a whistle sooner than that?
No, because he was still showing for some potential yardage gain if he would have broken that tackle. And if he would have broken that tackle and they would have called the whistle, the DeKalb coach would have been very irritated because really there was nobody helping tackle the running back. So it really could have gone either way.
The runner is Hunter Minch, and seems to be a little shaken up. He's going to limp off to the sideline as he's favoring that right, I'll bet it's his right knee or ankle.
Just driving so much, he probably tweaked something.
As it is, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 16 Price on the screen. Good defense. There as the pass was completed to Padilla. But who dropped him there, Noah?
Trevor Eichler.
Trevor Eichler with the tackle. Did a good job sniffing out that screen pass. And that'll bring up 4th and a bunch for the Barons. So their first time punting. It's number 3, Brunson, who did the extra point kicking as well. He's going to punt. And from about his own 4-yard line, a low kick. Doesn't get very far, but gets a great roll as it's all the way out to the 44-yard line. That's where the Knights will take over, trailing by 13. Boy, and the Knights have to get something going offensively. That's been their biggest issue all year, is putting points on the board. In fact, the 13 points that they put up in the fourth quarter last Friday was their high water mark for the year. Previous to that, their only touchdown was at Heritage in a loss. We're in the second quarter here at Auburn. 10:39 left in the half. Gerber operating from the shotgun, back to pass. The left-hander looks downfield, looks to his right, and just out of the reach of Rinkenberger. That'll make it 2nd and 10. As the wind doesn't seem to have let up much, Noah.
No, it has not. My back is just a little chilly, but other than that, my front is just fine because all the wind is just blasting on my back.
Well, that's probably because you had a good dinner, so it keeps your belly warm. Where'd you have dinner, Noah?
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, there you go.
The dinner of champions, let me tell you.
Here's a handoff and a couple of yard gain. I believe that was that Ringer again?
I believe that was Carson Ringer, yes.
Yeah. So the sophomore getting a lot of touches so far here early on. We'll bring up 3rd and 8 for the Knights. Ball spotted at the DeKalb 43. That's a generous 2 yards that they're calling that on the scoreboard. Gerber over the middle, and the pass is dropped. Boy, that ball was thrown in a pretty good spot. Bray Wilson.
There is a flag on the play.
Couldn't hang on. Let's see what the call is. Referee communicating with his official partners, and no flag. It was an inadvertent flag. So that'll bring up 4th down for the Knights. And it'll bring Hunter Engel back in, this time with the wind more at his back. It's really more across, but a little bit more out of the north. And Engel with a big kick. That'll go into the end zone and be a touchback. So DeKalb will take over from their own 20. Boy, what a difference that wind makes.
I was going to say, if that doesn't prove anything about this wind, I don't know what can.
Yeah, 42-yard punt for Hunter Engel. As DeKalb takes over with a 13-point lead, 9:50 left here in the half. DeKalb taking their time getting back out there. They pretty much had their way offensively. In their last series, they did have to punt. It's the first time that Norwell's stopped them at their 3rd possession. There's Harrison Price calling out the signals. That's Padilla back there with him. In motion is Brunson, and excuse me, that was not Brunson, that was Trevor Boyce, but a flag in the backfield, and as you could hear the Norwell coaches, a holding penalty is going to be called on DeKalb. They start marking it at the point of the infraction, which appears to be about the 18-yard line. So we'll reset it at first down in about 21. For the Barons. So they're kind of have their backs to the wall here. They so far have not had trouble putting up positive yardage from the line of scrimmage. Price with a short drop finds Chrisman again. Chrisman out past the 30. That'll be a first down for the DeKalb Barons. Big play to get them out of the shadow of their own end zone. And boy, Chrisman, a big target, great hands. Wonder if he's going to school. Is he committed anywhere?
I'm really
Any
not
idea?
sure.
Well, he's looked really good so far tonight.
Having that tall of a guy that's that athletic, I'm sure would be something that college coaches would be looking at. I mean, with Norwell's defense so far, just our middle is wide open. I mean, it's a clear path where the wide receivers were going to go.
That pass high almost picked off. It was off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Bronson. That'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Barons. Yeah, Chrisman at 6'7", just don't have too many athletes that tall. And boy, you get him onto a college campus. Now, I don't know that he's not a burner. Probably have to turn him into a tight end, but Tyler Eifert type. And look at the success he's having with the Bengals so far this year after missing almost the entirety of last year. Price with the inside handoff. That's Padilla, and Padilla out. Or no, I'm not sure that is Padilla. No, it wasn't. That was number 25. Hunter Minch, who moments ago was limping off the field. Didn't look like he was feeling too badly right there, Noah.
I agree. Something with Norwell, something else with Norwell's defense. We have a safety that's so far back that I can't even get him on camera unless I zoom all the way out.
Right.
But I mean, that's just extra help to cover. Number 4.
Yeah.
Forgetting his name.
Chrisman.
Chrisman. Yeah.
Yeah, with a Norwell safety.
Don't have a roster in front
field
of me.
out there. Good gain by the Barons on that run. I believe that was Minch again. That'll bring up 2nd and about 6. Yeah, they've got 6 on the scoreboard anyway. 8 minutes to go here in the half. Padilla and Minch in the backfield now with Price. He fakes the handoff this time, rolling left, looking downfield, and finds Chrisman again. Chrisman with a nice move to get open down the sideline, and he is going to score. That'll be a 55-yard pass and score for the Barons, mostly on the run by Will Chrisman, and him breaking into the end zone makes it a 19-point DeKalb lead. Boy, nice play by Will Chrisman, a little stop and go to get away from the defender as Brunson out there to attempt the extra point. He's 2 for 3 so far, this time into the wind a little bit, and this kick, I don't think that was good. No, it was low and left, and so he's now 2 for 4. It's a 19-point DeKalb lead, and it feels like a bigger lead than that even, Noah.
It really does. Norwell is just not showing really anything like they want to be here necessarily. Especially on their offensive side. Their offensive line is very weak right now. Hopefully we can get something going.
Now the Knights up against a couple of really good athletes in the quarterback Harrison Price and receiver Will Chrisman. That's Chrisman's 2nd touchdown catch already, I believe. Yeah, caught a 31-yard touchdown pass from Price in the first quarter. And, of course, Price with the initial score on a 10-yard run. And the Knights will again have the wind at their back on this possession as they trail by 19. So far, though, they have not been able to muster much offense at all. I believe they've only got one first down so far.
Yeah, it's been really tough for Norwell. Lots of passes have gone through wide receivers' hands, not able to pull those in.
Yeah, there's been several drop balls, and they were not awful passes from Carson Gerber. And they didn't hit him necessarily in the breadbasket, but definitely catchable balls. As again, Leidig fights away from a couple of tacklers and gets it out to the 35. And DeKalb really keeping the ball out of the air on their kickoffs. They've had plenty of them so far, and have consistently kicked it at the freshman Leidig.
Yeah,
that'll make the freshman grow up in a hurry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not really sure why they're doing that. I mean, we've gotten a good amount of yardage in the past few weeks from Jaron Stabenhagen, but it's nothing to really be threatened by.
Gerber back to pass on first down over the middle, and that one was not catchable. His target was Colton Rinkenberger. Rinkenberger was open just beyond the first down marker, but he was relatively well covered there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Knights. A little bit better pass protection that time by the Norwell offensive line. 7:28 left here in the half. Norwell trailing by 19. This time Gerber's going to run it over the left side and bounces outside. Has a little room to run and is going to pick up the first down. Nice athletic run there by Carson Gerber to pick up the first down. They'll spot the ball at about the Norwell 46.
Carson really got thrown to the ground on that play. He's a little slow getting up. He recently came back from a concussion injury. That was about 2 weeks ago. So hopefully getting thrown down like that isn't re-injuring his head, because I've always heard that the second concussion is the easiest one to get.
Yeah, the more every successive concussion, it takes longer to come back from it, and it's easier to be concussed. Now there's a nice play by the Knights on a little counter, and Leidig is still plowing forward. It's going to be about a 6-yard gain for the freshman. And Coach Miller going with his youngsters here in some key spots. Well, you might as well. 0-6. And Leidig doing a good job. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Knights. He's touched the ball a lot tonight.
Well, I think also Coach Miller is just trying to reward Leidig for his efforts from last week, getting that touchdown and also just not holding anything back.
Now Gerber's pass that time was tipped by number 10 for the Barons. Zach Jones got a hand on it, broke it up. That'll make it 2nd and 5 for the Knights. Ball spotted right at midfield. Norwell trying to get something going offensively here as they trail by 19. It's 3 touchdowns and an extra point as Alec Brunson just 1 for 3 in that department. Gerber dumped in the backfield. That 5 yards that they gained is lost on that play. That was number 33 for the Barons, Stephen Lalonde, and it'll bring up a long third down for the Knights as it's all the way back to the original line of scrimmage.
It'll be fourth down.
Fourth down, excuse me. Thank you, Noah.
Hunter Engel back for, I believe, the 5th time tonight.
Yep, I believe that's right. Had a big punt last time. The wind at his back. He gets off another good one. This sails inside the 10-yard line and bounces on into the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and the Barons will take over at their 20. 1st and 10. We'll take a real quick video break and be back after these words from our sponsors. DeKalb leading by 19 here with 5:12 left in the half. And as you can hear, folks at home, that wind noise in the background, it must still be gusting a little bit up there, huh, Noah?
Yeah, it's not slowing down anymore.
Norwell's going to get hit with an offside penalty here, and will make it 1st and 10 for the Barons. Somebody a little anxious on the line. It's supposed to rain most of the day tomorrow, I think. 55% chance of rain all day.
Yeah, the girls cross country team is going to conference tomorrow, so it's going to be really bad for them.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be very warm either. I don't know if it's supposed to make it to 60 degrees tomorrow.
High is 61, so we'll see if it makes it there.
Well, I think the Barons just gave those 5 yards right back. Yep, illegal motion penalty. We'll move it back to the original line of scrimmage, and so
they felt a little sorry for us, so they just felt like they would give that back to us.
Boy, they sure did. Another, I think for DeKalb that might be their first penalty.
I believe so.
Norwell with just a couple. They had one for 10 yards in the first. You know what, though? No, I think it was their second. I think they had a holding penalty earlier. That's Chrisman on the catch, and he carries a couple of Norwell tacklers out into 1st down territory.
Norwell is just...
Their licensed technicians can handle all of your electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, and now offers duct cleaning. No job is too small or too large for their service professionals. From electrical repairs, water heater replacements, sewer...
High right now.
Yeah.
It was just so easy for him to carry them. There was nobody around his legs.
Now Chrisman, a senior, 6'7", strong young man. This time he split to the right on the inside as Price fakes the pass. The handoff is going to gain about 4 yards, I think, for the Barons. That'll make it 2nd down and about 6. Price bringing them to the line quickly. Yeah, they'll call it 2nd and 6. Again, the handoff. I think this time it's to Padilla. And about a 4-yard gain. We'll have the ball spotted. Well, there's only about less than a yard to go for this 1st down here on 3rd down. Padilla, the lone running back in the backfield for DeKalb. Now Price steps back there with him. Looking over the defense, 3 receivers lined up behind each other here on the right side. Bit of a unique formation. Padilla breaks free into 1st down territory, and he breaks a couple of tackles down the left side all the way down to the Norwell 32-yard line. A big gain for Padilla. Oh, gee whiz, that's about a 24, 25-yard gain for Padilla. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Barons at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, the thing is our tackling, we're showing very poor effort while we're tackling. We're just, as the coaches up here were saying, shoulder bumping them. We're just not wrapping our arms around them at all.
Price
That's a great
on the fake handoff.
That's a great read by Price.
Yeah, it really was. And he saw that lane open up on an excellent fake that drew a couple of Norwell defenders, and he just took it 31 yards to the house. That'll make it a 25-point DeKalb lead at the 3:13 mark of the second quarter. And boy, the Knights have really given up a lot of points in the first half of each of their ball games.
Time-honored commitment that keeps the financial needs and concerns of our customers our number one priority. We're owned and staffed by your friends and neighbors. We count it a privilege to be an active part of the communities we call home. Strength, security, tradition, and a century-plus commitment to the generations of the customers and businesses we've so proudly served. First Bank of Bern. Depend on us. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Double-digit pay raises are history. Now money's a lot harder to get a hold of and even harder to hang on to. That's why I would like to offer you a free discount double check. I'll go through your car insurance policy to make sure you're getting the discounts you deserve and aren't leaving any money on the table. So call me, Kevin Beatty, at 824-1928, because being there to help keep more of your money in your pocket is why I'm here.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject rather than admit they probably don't have enough. That's why I focus on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house insurance or life without having to give up college insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call me, Kevin Beatty in Bluffton, at 824-1928 and put the life back in life insurance.
T.W. Fable, a modern American restaurant, is located inside the clubhouse at Timber Ridge Golf Course at 2330 East, 250 North in Bluffton. You can enjoy a fine dining experience Tuesday through Thursday, 5 to 9, Friday and Saturday, 5 to 10. Kitchen closes 1/2 hour prior to lounge. If you are looking for a great spot to have lunch, visit 250 Grill to enjoy some sandwiches, wraps, salads, and appetizers. T.W. Fable Restaurant, 2330 East, 250 North at Timber Ridge Golf Course. Reservations recommended by calling 260-353-1360.
It's not always about speed. It's not always about sponsors. It's not always about glamour. It's about getting the job done right. No matter what you have to push, pull, or move, New Holland and your local dealers are ready to help you finish like a champion. New Holland. It's not always about speed. It's not always about sponsors. It's not always about glamour. It's about getting the job done right. No matter what you have to push, pull, or move, New Holland and your local dealers are ready to help you finish like a champion. New Holland.
Welcome back, Raider and Jed Nation. We're here at the half. We've got about 9 minutes or so here until we get some action back underway. Again, a quick ball game going tonight. Todd and I might get home a little bit early. We got a chance to get home, even watch a little TV or something when we get sitting on the couch.
Well, hey, it's, I'm Old Man River here, so I'm hit the sack by 10:30 anyway.
I got to hit the hay. I got a 5K in the morning. You want to come run with me?
Yeah, I got to watch you run.
You get wine at the end.
Running in what kind of offsets the purpose for me. I look like I'm about 7 months pregnant, so I need to work off some LBs here.
See, I've got a distinct advantage as now I'm considered more of the old guy that runs these 5Ks, so I might be able to place first in my age group.
All right.
So Raiders trailing it here 14-0 on your Subway scoreboard. Again, Adams Central, typically a high-scoring ball club, usually putting 40, 50, 60 points up. But tonight, Raider defense are really doing a great job with them. And did a great job there towards the end of the half as Adams Central had a big opportunity after the huge turnover on the Raiders. And they weren't able to put it back in the end zone, and the Raiders find themselves down only 14 points. And with the win tonight, it's going to be a big play here in the second half.
And believe it or not, I think that's a big factor tonight, both in the special teams and it may play into the mind of the offensive coordinator side of the coaching staff, because they've really been tentative in using their passing game tonight. It's been almost exclusively runs, with the exception of a couple of tosses into the end zone here towards the end of the half. For Central on offense, I think they need to pass a little bit more, especially in the fourth quarter with the wind at their back here as we go into the back end of this game. Maintain that wing-back motion because it's keeping the D-line of Wells moving laterally on the snap, and that's giving them a good advantage. I'd also use some play action with some inslants to their wide receivers, Bear and Voirel. They need to get them a little bit more involved, and that'll help their running game even more. I wouldn't be surprised also if Central showed a bit more of a T formation in their backfield, kind of mix up the looks a little bit so that the defensive secondary and linebacker core doesn't know exactly what's coming at them. So kind of mix it up a little bit. For Central on defense, I like the penetration that they've gotten so far. I'd continue to pursue that. I wouldn't back off of that just because of the slight change in momentum, because it really forces Wells slightly outside of their comfort zone, because it forces them to go away from the A and B gap runs, which they like so much, and especially Bonawit, who uses that as his go-to running play or lane on those quarterback keepers, which a number of times this year has resulted in a score for them. So I keep them moving sideline to sideline. If you're defensively looking at things from the Adams Central standpoint. Also, I bring up a safety. I'd leave maybe one safety back because with minimal passes taking place, you can bring a guy up to give some run support, and that also helps to counter those stretch plays as Wells tries to mix things up a little bit and go away from those middle runs. For Wells on offense, again, you almost have to play that stretch play and be able to cut back properly at the right time. With the penetration that the D-line has gotten from Central, you can't sit there. If you can't hit the fastball, you gotta try something different. You gotta go a different direction. I would try some screen passes if I were them, because as that penetration takes place and Central's getting into the backfield, if you're able to execute a good screen pass, you toss the ball right over the top, put it in the hands of Barkus or Trissel, and up the field they go with a big guy leading the way. That can lead to some big plays, and that forces then the D-line to back off. So that opens up your bread and butter plays. So that's what I would try if I were Wells on offense. For the defensive side, for Wells, they've done, like you said, a pretty good job. They've defended the passes when they've been there. And Adams Central has moved the ball a little bit more methodically, with a little bit more success than Wells has, but they really haven't been tearing them up too bad. The only thing that Southern Wells has not gotten a lot of is penetration into the backfield. So, one thing I might try that they do sometimes, but not enough, is working some of those stunts and some linebacker blitzes, because really at this point, despite the fact that Hammond is an excellent passer, they just haven't gone to that. So if both teams are going to sit there and run, well, you stack your defense, align your defense to that type of play, and see what happens. So a good battle back and forth. But like I said, so far, the way the game is going, it's a little bit more in Wells' favor. If Wells can score, this is going to be a really exciting game. If, however, Central comes down and punches it in on that first possession, it's going to be a long second half for Wells. So this first possession is going to be critical for Southern Wells, and the wind and weather conditions will play a big factor into that in the second half.
So, hey, again, Raiders down 14-0 here at half. And we might have to give our New Holland Tri-County player of the game to Dylan upstairs running that camera.
Well, the fact that I haven't heard him fall over yet. I mean, I think he had the other camera guy came down and said he had to tie himself down to keep his equipment from falling over. It's so windy up there.
So we've got a few minutes here left until we get some second half action underway. Todd, how's your fantasy football team doing?
Horrible. I got, we went through the Yahoo thing, and we got I got an A-. I got the highest draft grade of all the 12 guys in my league, and I have a goose egg in the win column. I am stunned at how bad this has gone. Now, I did have a bone to pick, as I mentioned early on in the season. I found out 10 minutes too late after the draft that running backs get twice as many points as wide receivers do, and I'm typically a wide receiver heavy. So I found that out a little bit late. So my big running back is Alfred Morris, who has apparently given up his job to the I can't think of the guy's name now over at Washington. So I have no running back, so I'm getting crushed. And even my wife is also in a Bonvino Ladies League.
Oh, jeez.
And she is letting me have it because she had a very good team last year and got deep into the playoffs, almost won the championship, and she is 0-3. We are 0-6 in the Bonvino household, and its tensions are getting high between us.
I'm 2-1. I'm doing okay.
You got 2 more wins than the two of us. I haven't won a game since last year.
So, hey, big thing going on tomorrow in college football for the Indiana Hoosiers taking on the number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. So a big opportunity tomorrow for the Hoosiers to get their names on the map. And I'll tell you what, Ohio State struggled a little bit here to start the season.
Well, it was really interesting. I think it was just this past week where Ohio State struggled in their victory while number 2 and 3 both lost. And so they got a kind of a reprieve there and maintain their number 1 position. But ultimately it doesn't matter because they need to finish in the top 4, which is fine with me. I love the college playoff system. For years I've complained about that whole voting system as to who should be in the big game. Instead, I'd love to see 8, let alone 4. So at least they've got got going in the right direction where the top 4 teams can at least play to see who deserves to be in that championship game, because last year we saw the same type of setup take place, and it wasn't necessarily the 2 teams that would have been voted in. So finishing the top 4, I'd rather see the argument be between 4 and 5 rather than who's 2 and 3 to get into the championship game. So I like the structure. I like the way they have it set up at this point. Should be pretty interesting here. You love a chance to play against the number 1 ranked team in the country and get a shot at knocking them out. It's like the Rocky moment, we'll see what happens.
So we've got about a minute and a half here to go until we get some play underway. Sending a quick break, and we'll be right back with your second half.
We repair
and we renew.
Surgical services at Adams Memorial Hospital, helping you be healthy in every way. We comfort
and we deliver.
The Maternity Center at Adams Memorial Hospital, helping your family be healthy in every way. We listen
and we help.
Behavioral health at Adams Memorial Hospital, supportive so you're healthy in every way. We react
and we heal.
Emergency services at Adams Memorial Hospital, responsive so you're healthy in every way. We serve
and we care.
Med-Surg and ICU at Adams Memorial Hospital, always here so you stay healthy in every way. We monitor
and we prevent.
Worthman Fitness at Adams Memorial Hospital. Our goal is for you to be healthy in every way.
Welcome back, Raider Jet Nation. We're going to get some second half football underway here for you in this cross-county rivalry between Adams Central and Southern Wells. And Todd, back years ago, in 2000, there was a state champion in Class 1A. Can you name that team?
There's some guy that always wants to take credit for it. I can't think of his name.
I bet you're going to be incorrect.
I guess it's not you. Not Southern Wells, I take it.
No. Southern Wells was beat by this team in the sectional finals that year.
Adams Central.
Adams Central. So Adams Central was the 2000 Class 1A state champion, and the Southern Wells Raiders won it the next year in 2001, which was my senior year. In 2000, Adams Central defeating the Southern Wells Raiders on a final kick in the sectional playoff game, field goal. After the Raiders had the opportunity to run the clock out, or at least very close to being out, and having a fumble happen on one of the last plays, and the Jets were able to get in the field goal.
Pulled the New York Giant play
they
there.
Did. They had a butt fumble almost, basically. So here's the kickoff coming back to the Jets as they begin this second half.
Uh-oh.
And he goes up to the left side of the sideline, and a good return for AC. So we're going to set things up here with Adams Central getting the football. And they'll be going into the wind here in the start of the third quarter. So the Raiders are going to have to go into the wind here in the fourth. So that could pay big dividends for the Jets.
Well, on your screen, just in the upper right-hand corner, you can. Well, I just went off it now, but you can see that flag is blowing really hard out there on the sideline.
Single back formation, handoff coming right side of the Jets. Good cut back by the running back, picks up about 4.
And a great job setting the edge there, forcing the running back to cut back inside towards the defensive help, where the second layer of linebackers and safeties were able to make the tackle. If he doesn't set that edge and that running back gets to the outside, he's going to stretch that to the sideline, take it up for a 10, 12-yard gain minimum.
So again, just getting the third quarter underway here. Adams Central close to midfield, still in their own territory. Ball spotted right around the 44-yard line. So handoff, trying to find that hole, and they push forward, pick up the first down, and get into Raider territory all in one swift run. And that'll be first down here for the Jets.
A good start for Central as they're trying to put their foot on the necks of Wells here. Wells' defense has to come up with a big play. Turnover, sack, something to force a second and long here.
So Jets running well here to begin this second half. So receiver split out wide to both sides. We had a little bit of a false start movement there. The official throws the flag.
And that's the type of thing you're looking for. If it's as good as a 5-yard sack right there.
Boy, if this is basketball, that'd be a turnover. Too bad for the Raiders, right?
5-yard penalty, first down and 15.
So that's going to push them back 5 yards of the Jets. So that's what the Raiders need to happen, especially with the Jets still going into the wind.
Now, if I'm Central here, what I go to is one of the plays they ran towards the end of the first half. I run a little screen pass to the left.
So single back formation. Receivers split wide. Each side, man in motion, number 24. Pitch left side, fumble in the backfield, and they have to fall on it. Adams Central's going to come down on it, but they're going to lose about 7 more yards on the play. So the Raiders are getting some breaks here.
Back-to-back failure to execute by Central on the false start and then also the fumble, as the pitch appeared to be okay. It was a little bit back shoulder on the pitch, and I think the running back started to look up just before he got the ball and lost sight of it, and that sets Wells up very well defensively to – we got 2nd and 22 here, so they should be able to force a punt here at the end of this drive or series.
So snap, handoff up the middle, and Bates is going to get away. And one Raider player finally brings him down to a big chunk of yardage gain, and now they're only 2 yards short of that first down.
Just as I said, they were about to be in good position to force a punt. They come up with a 20-yard run.
3rd down and 3.
Todd, the way your fantasy football team's going, why don't you not take any
that doesn't surprise me either. I was going to draft Jerry Rice, and I realized he's not around anymore.
Still a free agent, huh? Did you get Terrell Owens or anything like that?
No, but he's in my I got him on my bench.
Left side, Bates going to pick up that first down. Wow. So Raiders had the Jets where they needed to get them.
2nd and 22, and they still got the first down in 2 plays.
5 yards.
And nothing exciting either, just a handoff off tackle to the left side, and it's almost as if the linebacking core was dropping back into coverage. No one there.
So now under 9.5 minutes left here to go to third quarter. And Jets look to stick with that running game that's been good for them tonight. Handoff left side. Number 24 gets the... So single back formation. Again, split receivers out wide.
Martinez spread way out to the right.
Handoff right up the middle. Raiders are right there to stop it. About a half a yard gain on the play. Second down. Ball outside the red zone still here for Adams Central.
Beeks with a good tackle there. Right after the handoff. Got him wrapped up. Until he got help from a second defender.
Gain of 1 yard. Second down and 9.
That was a perfect opportunity. I wouldn't be surprised here if you go fade to Voirrell on the right side.
Single back, man in motion, pitch over to the right side. A lot of space over there to run.
They've got to get a block in the back. Voirrell got away with a huge block in the back on the receiver, or the cornerback rather, on the outside, right in front of the referee. No call, and that helped open up the lane, the running seam.
So picked up about 6 yards on the play. He ran about 20 to get 6.
Third down and 4.
And that's going to bring up third down. 4.5 yards to go here for the Jets. We're just inside that red zone now. So Raider front really having their work cut out for them tonight at that big offensive line for the Jets. Man in motion. Handoff goes left side up the middle.
A big stop here. So do you try and kick a field goal here? You're going to go for it.
So fourth down here, 4 yards, about 3.5 yards to go. And like Todd says, big opportunity here for the Raiders.
It's interesting because if you don't want to take a gamble of kicking the ball, and with that wind, having a block or something goofy happen, and it looks like they're not going to.
So keep your eye on the bottom side of the screen. We've got 6'5" versus 6'2". Let's see if they go to it this time. So they're going to boot out. Raiders are right there for the sack. Boom! Hit that time in the backfield. Looks like Nick Robertson on the play.
The bootleg fooled nobody, and the right defensive end got some penetration and stayed home. He didn't over-pursue and was able to get pressure on Hammond, and a second defender, I think a linebacker, came in and laid the final hit on Hammond, who almost was able to get rid of that football and toss it up despite having a defender wrapped around his leg. So great play for Southern Wells. That could be a huge, huge play to look back on later in the game.
And I believe that was number 51, Elijah Barkell, who had the quarterback in the grasp, and Nick Roberts finishing it off. So handoff left side for the Raiders. Stopped for about 1.5 yard gain is Barkus.
Let's see if they continue to stretch, see if they go to any kind of screen passes.
Boy, good opportunity here for the Raiders. Wind at their back. Maybe some play action opportunities here.
I agree totally. Play action with a pass, because you're lulling them to sleep with the running plays all night long. You've only thrown the ball once, and that was into the wind.
So handoff right up the middle for Trissel. He's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage there. And it looks like the officials are going to mark it at a first down. They say he does. First down for the Raiders.
More than anything, get out of your own deep end, get near midfield. If you stall and you have to punt, at least you put them on their side of the field. But if you're able to march down and punch it in here, we're halfway through the third quarter already.
So Raiders' new set of downs here. Ball at the 35 in their own side of the football field. Bonowitz going to keep it. Gets to the outside edge. And looks like he may have picked up a first down.
And that may be the second clock stoppage of the night. As he goes out of bounds.
Second down and 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, not sure I like where the official spotted that ball, but you know what? We're only 1 yard away. So 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. Raiders getting a little momentum going for offense here. That's a big stop on defense on fourth down against the Jets. Single back formation. Man in motion's Bass. Hand off middle up for Trissel. And it looks like he's going to pick up the first down and move the chains. So close to midfield now are the Raiders, right around the 47-yard line.
First down, Southern Wells.
So despite having 3 big guys throw him to the ground, he got the first down. That's all that matters.
That's a gift.
So single back formation for the Raiders.
Boy, look at this. You got one tight safety. You got a big guy to the outside. Run a slant pass.
Still looking for that play action pass. Hand off to Trissel up the middle, about 4 yards on the play. 3.5 will give him. Well, one official's giving him a whole extra yard than the other.
Yeah, wow, that's not even close. He's going to split the difference, put it in the middle, I guess.
That's about what he's doing, yep.
You know, I like with Central. I like them bringing one safety up for run support and having the other single safety high, but he's got to float towards the wide receiver side, and he's not. He's almost playing just a deep linebacker position. So really, that cornerback number 8 is isolated out on the right side as Chase Stahl is basically one-on-one. You got to go to him sooner or later. There's a keeper.
Bonaway keeps it. Good yardage on play. Looks like he's going to keep up first. Yep.
I know it's not your bread and butter, but it's just like a box out in basketball. If he makes that swim move and gets inside the cornerback and you rifle it to the lead shoulder, you know, he should have a great opportunity at a first down, if not a big play.
So the Raiders getting into Jet territory now, right around the 42-yard line.
You know, and Keaton has a little bit of a size advantage, not huge, but enough for it to matter.
And off to Trissel. Looks like he picked up about 3 on the play. And 2.5. We'll give it.
You know, and now you're on the. I know they got it basically made off that they're closer to the left hash. I was going to say if you're on the left hash, you got to go to the receiver.
So second down now. 8 yards to go. Well, again, we look for any time for the Raiders to hit him with that play action pass. And Bonowit's going to keep it and push over the left side, right behind his back.
Yeah, because I'm watching, you know, as Wells runs motion from the double wing back right to left, the safety, number 23, is shifting towards the direction that the motion is taking place. And that's one more step that if you're able to get that pass over there, I know, you know, you could always have it picked for a pick six too, but with the size advantage, if he gets the proper footwork, you know, that's a touchdown.
So again, man in motion. Pitch over the left side. That's Barkus trying to cut it back in.
And he almost fumbled. I think that popped out of his hand and he grabbed it.
Bailey Hurst had the tackle for the Jets. Gain of 2 yards. A 4th down and 3.
Boy, huge. You got to go for it here.
So 4th down now for the Raiders. 4 yards to go for that first down. Wind to your back. Do the Raiders try to run one more, or do they?
Well, even a double move. Now they got the receiver to the short side of the field, so I doubt they're going to pass here.
Backers are split out a little wide here.
Depends on that outside linebacker.
Bonowit going to keep it. Pushing forward.
Bonowit on the keeper.
Very close to a first down. It's going to depend on this spot.
I think he's short, but
boy, he might be right on a good spot there for the Raiders by the official.
My Eagle vision says first down. I think he's got my first reaction was first down. My Eagle.
Officials are going to go ahead and measure it. So this is a big measurement here for the Raiders.
Huge turnover on downs versus a first down just outside the 30. two-score game here. You're moving the ball for the first time tonight with consistent success. If you're able to cut this lead in half, closing in on the fourth quarter, one-score game, and a team that's used to scoring 40 points is 14, again, it makes them a little anxious. Makes them unsure. It makes them feel like, holy cow, we're not able to do what we usually do. The things aren't working that usually do. Oh, they call it short.
So the ball is just short, and it's going to be Adams Central ball. As it looks like they're short by about 7 3/16 inches. Give or take a 16th.
So a huge stoppage there.
So 2:44 left here in the third quarter. The officials going to spot the ball here for the Jets, who take over again. Raiders really have a good opportunity here to get things going and get the ball back, because here in the fourth quarter, they're going to be going the other way into the wind.
Gotta be careful of the quick deep strike here.
Single back formation. And keep close eye here. There's been a few times that I've noticed the wing backs here for the Jets are moving a little early, and the officials have not been calling it.
Yeah, they always seem to put one in motion, but it does seem like they get half a step.
So if you want to pay close attention, see if you can, and see if you notice it on this play, if they line up in the wings, and they do. Watch that number 24 wing to the bottom side of your screen. A few times he's been starting early. And the official's going to throw the flag. They might see what I keep seeing.
Well, there it is. And there's a guy in the back that, what?
Pops to the sky. I don't know what you're talking about. I was a statue out there, man. So we're going to move them back 5 yards. Hey, keep close eye again at the wings.
Hey, and this is how their last drive started out, with a false start and then a fumble, mental mistakes, and that gave Wells a little bit of mental momentum, and then Wells took it most of the length of the field here. If Central struggles in this series, he gives the ball right back to Wells before the fourth quarter comes up. We could see a change in the momentum of this game.
So keep an eye on your wings there and starting. And that time they did get off to the correct snap of the count. So flags flying everywhere, maybe in the area of holding.
Yep, and we got some rain coming down now.
And it is a holding. That'll knock them back another 15.
Holding is the call against Adams Central.
Big play. So again, back-to-back plays to start a possession, puts Central in a deep hole.
So let's see if the Raiders can take a big opportunity here at second down. And
has it been raining for like a half hour? I just didn't notice it.
Nah, I think it just started a little bit.
Because I looked at that and I was like, wow, it's really coming down.
Grill to enjoy some sandwiches, wraps, salads, and appetizers. TW Fable Restaurant, 2330 East, 250 North at Timber Ridge Golf Course. Reservations recommended by calling 260-353-1360.
At First Bank of Bern, you can depend on us to make personal banking easy. That's right, easy. With free online banking, a free bill pay service, a free Visa check card, free mobile banking, and of course convenient locations and ATMs. Actually, our employee-owned community bank has been making life easier for our customers since 1891. It's what generations of folks have come to expect. For personal banking, you can depend on us to make it easy. First Bank of Bern. Bern, Bluffton, Decatur, Kokomo, Peru, Portland, and Van Wert. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, welcome back to DeKalb. Both teams on the field. DeKalb already on their sideline. Norwell still warming up a little bit. I apologize. This broadcast is not going as smoothly as what we would like. We've got a decent connection. The problem is just the speed of the broadcast. And so what happens is to try to bring you a good picture, the stream backlogs. And so you're actually, what you're seeing and hearing right now is about 5 minutes behind real time. So we apologize for that, as still a minute 20 left on the clock. And we talked a little bit about the fact that Norwell's got to pick it up defensively, but also they've got to figure out how they can move the ball against this DeKalb defense. What do you see for the Knights?
Really, Levi Leidig is doing a great job of finding holes. Wide receivers, just a lot of drop passes in the first half. There were a couple by Colt Rinkenberger, I remember, a couple by Bray Wilson. Carson Gerber he's doing a good job of getting the ball to him, mostly, but also our wide receivers need to be ready. They need to be ready just to catch the ball and then run, instead of wanting to run and then catch the ball. They're just kind of getting a little bit ahead of themselves, but really, this Knights need to keep just moving forward.
Yeah, you can only do one thing at a time, and I see the Norwell receivers kind of getting into that habit of wanting to turn up field before they've secured the ball.
Norwell will be kicking off to start this second half, the first time that they have kicked off this entire game.
Right, they received the opening kickoff and, of course, have not put the ball in the end zone, so they haven't had the opportunity to do anything with that to this point. Well, yeah, our connection's just slow, Noah, and there's not a doggone thing I can do about it. Yeah, we are now, we're a long way behind live. But we're going to start the second half, and the kick, a good one, down to about the 8-yard line. It's fielded down there by number 1, Boyce, and a good return as he brings it out past the 30. Boyce not a big guy by any stretch, but boy, he's a good football player. Listed at just 5'6", and he's just a junior. So the Barons will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard. They got it spotted right at the 30. So the starter's still out there for the Barons here to start the second half as they lead by 31. Price, the quarterback. Chrisman out there as well in motion. I think that was Minch. Handoff, though, was inside. Actually, that was not Minch in motion. That was number 23, Jake Ashelman. The run didn't go anywhere, gained maybe a yard. That'll make it 2nd and 9 for the Barons. As Chrisman looking at the sideline, looking for the plays. Chrisman flipped to the right. He spent most of his time tonight on the right side of Harrison Price, and he's caught 6 passes already for close to 150 yards. Rolling left, Price unloads it, finds Chrisman as Chrisman came all the way across the field. That'll be a first down for the Barons.
We were saying earlier, Greg, even though Chrisman is tall, he is very athletic.
Yeah, he is. He came all the way across the field with Price, and Price only had to throw the ball about 10 yards in the air. Gets the first down. We mentioned the fact that the Barons with 158 yards passing in the first half. Pretty efficient, too, considering the wind. They're heading back into the wind now. 8 of 13 with 1 interception in the first half. Chrisman is going to be brought down as making the initial contact. I believe that was Eichler.
Ivan Allison was grabbing him by his feet. That's a great job of just holding on to his feet and just waiting for someone else to come plow him over.
And it'll be a big loss for the Barons of about 8 yards. That'll make it 2nd down and 18. Boy, but when you've got Chrisman out there, you can get those first downs back pretty quickly.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that happen.
Price hangs on to it, but nice play by the Norwell defense as Price was dropped for no gain. That'll make it 3rd and 18 for the Barons.
Ivan Allison on that play again.
Allison very active. He had 3 solo tackles in the first half. Added a couple more tackles here in the second already. And a hard count by Price. Tried to draw the Norwell line offside. They did not. Price now looking for room. Good pressure, and he's going to be dumped all the way back at the 20-yard line. That'll be about a 14-yard loss for the Barron offense. And it'll bring up 4th down and a whole bunch. This will be, I think, just the 2nd time, that they punt tonight. And it's going to be into the wind. So a good opportunity here for the Knights to get really good field position.
And I think that's what Coach Miller has really been looking for all this game and really all season, is just a good series of defense.
Well, DeKalb gets a very favorable bounce on that punt. It'll make it just across midfield.
But there is a flag on the play.
Oh yeah, back on around the area of the line of scrimmage of that punt. We'll see what the call is here. As the official.
It's against DeKalb.
Illegal motion, so they're going to make them kick it again. It's 4th and 30 for the Barons offense. Well, it's actually going to be more than that now. 10, 20, 36, 35.
35 yards.
And the kick, that's really a pretty good kick. But this one's not going to roll. So the Knights are going to end up with about a 15-yard gain on that penalty. They'll take over from the Barons' 35, 36-yard line. So that's a big break for the Knights.
That's huge. That's a great job by Ivan Allison getting those 2 tackles. Big heads-up plays. I mean, you can already tell that coming out of the locker room, Norwell is definitely wanting to make an impact on the second half.
Yeah, playing with a little bit more energy here in the second half, trailing by 31 though. 8:05 left in the quarter. And we've got a new quarterback out there for the Knights as well. I believe that's the freshman Braggy.
Garrison Braggy, yep.
Number 19.
18.
18.
Yep.
Garrison listed at 5'8", 126.
He is a very short, skinny guy. There's really not much meat onto this guy.
Not too many freshmen have a lot of meat. I mean, Leidig really is the exception to the rule, as he is, and even he's not that big, but but he's pretty strong. That's Ringer on the pitch. He's got some room to run. He's down the right side, inside the 10-yard line, and a big run for Carson Ringer. And, of course, Ringer's just a sophomore. So the Knights, with a good drive going here to start the second half. And DeKalb is going to quickly call a timeout. So with the Knights moving down the field quickly, DeKalb wants a timeout. We'll take it along with them, take a quick break, and be right back.
Pizza Hut is changing the way you think about pizza with their Flavor of Now menu. With over 2 billion combinations of new ingredients, crusts, and sauces, you can customize your pizza and take it where pizza has never gone before. But don't stress, all the old-time favorites are...
Norwell threatening here. First and goal from about the 6-yard line, I think. Yep, that's what they've got on the scoreboard anyway. Oh, and a good defensive play as Ringer dumped in the backfield for a couple-yard loss. Yeah, we'll call it second and goal from the 8.
Yeah, Norwell doing a great job on this offensive series. Just need to finish it now.
Yeah, somebody missed their block on that particular play. Breggy on the pitch. A little bit of room here on the left-hand side, but not a big gain for Ringer as he might have got down to close to the 5-yard line. That'll bring up third and goal for Norwell. Boy, DeKalb coach Pete Kemp made his point with his defense as after allowing a couple of big plays, they've really stiffened here. Third, this is a big play for the Knights if they want to get into the end zone. Breggy rolling right into the end zone and overthrows Colt Rankenberger. Now, what's Coach Miller going to want to do here on fourth down, Noah?
You're down by this much. I don't know. I mean, it is the beginning of the second half. Looks like Norwell's just trying to get a touchdown right here, and they're not going to sell for anything less.
Well, after a couple of big plays, now they're having trouble moving the football. I'm not sure who. I think Regenberger might have been Breggy's target on that pass. The freshman over center, rolling out again, and is going to be dumped at the 17-yard line. The DeKalb defense holds. They'll take over on downs at their own 17, and that might have been, certainly the Knights' best opportunity to this point.
Most definitely.
You hate to say last for the rest of the night, but boy, they've had such a struggle moving the football that you just hate to see that opportunity go by the wayside. Boy, give DeKalb credit, though. I mean, after being a little porous there on a couple of plays, they really stiffened up and got aggressive and held Norwell there on 4 plays. Inside handoff by Price. Might have gained a yard. Let's see. That was Padilla on the carry. That'll make it 2nd and 9 for DeKalb.
Who is 52 for Norwell?
That is Austin Miller.
He was on the tackle for that play. He kind of came around the backside and tackled him.
Price, another handoff inside. This time Padilla breaks free. Big yardage all the way out to the 40. Boy, good blocking by the DeKalb offensive line. Just opened up a huge hole for Padilla. Padilla, a little spark plug of a running back, built like a spark plug, and he's just a sophomore, listed at 5'7", 195. That's a lot of weight on a 5'7" frame.
I believe they just ran the same play twice.
And just blocked a whole lot better the second time.
Yeah. So I think Coach Gerber was correct that they don't really have that many running plays, but when they do run the football, it can be very effective.
Now, DeKalb was having a hard time figuring out what play they wanted to run there, and ended up having an illegal motion call made on them. It'll be 1st and 15 from their own 35. DeKalb not quite as efficient to this point of the second half as what they were in the first half so far. 4:43 left here in the third quarter. They've not yet scored. They got all 31 of their points in the first half. Price, boy, all kinds of motion going on in their offense. The pass out to Chrisman, he gets his feet down, and the catch at the 45 will make it 2nd and 5. And it didn't sound like the coaches agreed with that call, Noah.
Yeah, most definitely. They were saying that he was not, he did not have full possession of the ball when he had his feet in bounds. I would have to agree with them on that statement.
See, from my view here, it looked like he got his feet down.
Yeah, he got his feet down. Just he was kind of bobbling the ball a little bit.
Gotcha.
I mean, yeah, there's no doubt about that. He got his feet down. It's just the ball in his hands.
Well, this time Price up under center. The handoff to 33, bounces outside, and gains the first down plus a whole lot more. That's Stephen Lalonde with the first down for the Barons into Norwell territory. They're going to mark it at about the Norwell 42. 1st and 10 for DeKalb.
That wind started to pick up a little bit again.
Yeah, we thought it was going to die down after it got dark, but apparently it's not.
Yeah, I was hoping it would die down too.
I'll bet you were.
I bet you're just nice and toasty there in the press box, aren't you?
It's not real toasty in here either. There's not much. There's no heat in here or anything. Just protected from the wind. In fact, I'm about ready to put my second jacket back on. I had taken it off earlier as the run for Padilla. And that's about 4 yards. It'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Barons.
I'm not sure if you already have, but could you give the height and weight for number 79 for DeKalb? He's a pretty big boy.
6'4", 375, and he's a senior. Bryce Samuelson. He's moving some bodies out there for the Barons.
He certainly is.
Price is going to throw it this time and gets it away in and out of the hands of Padilla. Good throw by Price. I think once again a case of a receiver wanting to turn upfield before he had possession of the ball. 3:28 left here in the third quarter.
He saw the open field in front of him, and he wanted that just too much and too early.
Yeah. Just took his eye off the ball. Because it wasn't a bad pass. The pass was right at his face mask.
Yeah.
Well, that'll bring up another passing down here for the Barons. 3rd and about 6. Price hands it off instead. Padilla will not get the first down. He's going to be about 3 yards short. We'll see what DeKalb does here. Got to believe, well, that might be 4 down territory considering they're going. But they lead by 31.
And also with the wind kind of into their face a little bit, that punt won't go as far.
Right. Well, they're going to go for it. It's a long 3, 4 on the scoreboard. Price is going to throw as he rolls right high off the fingertips of Will Crispin, and the Knights defense holds. They'll get it back and take over on downs at their own 35-yard line. Well, yeah, they put it right on the 35-yard line. I always look at the sticks and across the way. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell where the bottom of them is, which is what they go by. Once again, we apologize for the internet speed not being able to keep up with the stream. The picture will still be good, but what'll happen is people are watching at home, the picture may go in and out, and we know it's behind. But our connection is solid. It's just the speed of the connection that's messing that up. And a timeout has been called. Do you know who called that timeout, Noah?
I'm not sure.
Well, in any case, we'll take a break and hear from Indiana Physical Therapy. We'll be right back.
For countless years, I struggled with back pain, and more often than not, the doctors would just prescribe pain meds, which would just dull the pain. It wasn't until I was referred to Indiana Physical Therapy that I truly experienced pain relief. The professionals at IPT showed me the correct exercises and stretches for my problems, and my back pain began to fade away, and as a result, my entire body began to feel better. Indiana Physical Therapy's highly trained professionals treat all types of injuries and ailments and accept all insurance. For more information on IPT or to schedule an appointment.
Norwell 1st and 10. Pitch from Breggy to Ringer. Ringer again. Big yardage as he picks up another Norwell first down into DeKalb territory. That ball's going to be marked at about the 48-yard line of the Barons. Boy, that play has worked well a couple of times now here in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know who said what to Carson Ringer, but he is a lot more faster this second half.
Well, he's had some room to get going. His first step is not real quick, but boy, once he gets ahead of steam, he can put together some good runs. Breggy throws it to the Norwell sideline. That's caught over there by one of the Norwell coaches. Unfortunately, it's an incomplete pass, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Knights.
I'm glad that Breggy did that and just not try to run with it or do anything special. That's really the smartest option that he had, is just throwing the ball away and getting it out of trouble.
Yeah, the receivers were pretty well covered. So Breggy, I noticed Breggy taking all his snaps under center. I don't think he's taken a snap yet in the shotgun. Another pitch, this time over the left side. It's Ringer again, another big gain, and he's down to the DeKalb 35-yard line. Another first down for the Knights. So Ringer starting to pile up some yardage here in the second half.
I think part of that is Norwell's offensive line. They're blocking a ton better this second half.
Yeah, they are making some holes for Carson. Carson, a sophomore. He's listed at 5'8", 142 in this freshman class. Not very big, but proving to be pretty athletic. 1:39 left here in the third. Another pitch to Ringer again, and he's out of bounds after about a 5-yard gain. And an official's timeout is going to stop the clock. Number 55, it appears, for DeKalb. That's Dylan Hulbert, a junior, in some pain at the 35-yard line. That was actually about a 6-yard gain for Ringer. It'll make it 2nd and 4 for the Knights, as Hulbert looks like he's going to be able to get off with a little assistance. Lower extremity issue, his left leg. And he's moving slow, but he's moving under his own power. We may see him back in the game before this is all over, and depending on how it goes. I can't tell if it's his ankle or his knee. But he's going to be looked at by the training crew. 2nd and 4 for the Knights. DeKalb in their pink socks in honor of breast cancer research. It's a big deal in this area. Of course, Vera Bradley has a lot to do with that. There's a handoff again to Ringer. Ringer breaks free inside the 15. He's brought down at about the 11-12 yard line. And the Knights on the move. I think DeKalb has made some changes to their defense. I don't know if it's actually their second string because Will Chrisman is still out there. But I don't see Boyce. Yep, Boyce is out there actually. Left side. So I think for the most part it's still their first line defense, and Norwell's just doing a whole lot better job of making some holes for Carson Ringer. Ringer on those pitches. There's the straight handoff to Ringer, and this time they bring him down after maybe a yard gain. You know, it's a long one for Ringer. We'll call it 2nd and 9. Norwell can get a first down without scoring here. 30 seconds left in the quarter. This will probably be the last play of the quarter.
This third quarter has gone fairly quick, but
yeah.
I mean, it's partially because of all the running that Norwell has been doing, and their length of possession time has definitely gone up.
Bragy's going to pass it into the end zone. He's got a man open. Oh, and it's dropped. As Bray Wilson had beaten his man in the end zone, and Bray had to reach for it a little bit, but not able to pull it in. That'll make it 3rd and 9 for the Knights. That ball was in the air a long time. And that's just a long pass for a freshman.
It was really a good pass. I mean, it went right through Bray Wilson's hands. He just could not pull that in.
Yeah, it looked like it was. He had to reach for it just a little bit. I'll tell you that the Knights, we're going to have to run a pass play every once in a while, but boy, much more effective on the ground. There's the pitch to Ringer, looking for room, and he's going to make it down to about the 5-yard line. That'll be the last play of the third quarter, but it's going to bring up a decision for Coach Miller as he's just a couple yards short of a first down. They'll switch ends. We'll take a break and be back with fourth quarter action after these words from our sponsors.
Heating and Electric strives to be your total service provider. Their licensed technicians can handle all of your electrical, plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, and now offers duct cleaning. No job is too small or too large for their service professionals. From electrical repairs, water heater replacements, sewer and drain cleaning, well repair, and remodel jobs. Bluffton Plumbing, Heating, and Electric, located behind Lowe's on Commerce Drive in Bluffton, 888-824-3332. That's 824-3332.
The Big Philly Cheesesteak. Every meat lover's dream. With lots of steak smothered in melted cheese, it's easy to see why this classic is the taste that Philly is so proud of. Subway melts loaded up with your favorite fresh fixins and lots of ooey-gooey melty cheese. They're the ultimate in flavor. For a limited time only, try the chicken cordon bleu or the chicken marinara melt. It's melted goodness made irresistible. Subway of Bluffton. Eat fresh with 2 locations to serve you on North Main and inside Walmart.
Of course, we want to thank Subway for being our scoreboard sponsor. Right now, that scoreboard says DeKalb 31, Norwell nothing, but Norwell threatening here. This is a big play as the Knights with the ball spotted at about the 6-yard line. They need half of that for a first down. And now Coach Miller's going to spend a timeout. So that'll give us a chance to hear from a couple more of our sponsors. We appreciate the time. We hope you appreciate our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Bluffton Street Fair starts next week, and we are putting out a call to all singers to show up to the qualifying round of the Bluffton Street Fair Idol this Sunday, 6 p.m. at Life Church in Bluffton. Bring your music and try out in front of the judges to see if you can make the cut. The grand prize is $700. No pre-registration required. Must be 17 years old, but you do not have to be a resident of Wells County. For more information, visit BlufftonStreetFair.com.
Actually, Noah, it is too late to try out for Idol. So if you were gonna apply, you're too late. That contest was last week.
Yes, it was.
And the youngest contestant in that field won. Big play here for the Knights. 4th down, and they need at least 3. So DeKalb's defense being exhorted on by their fans. The pitch to Ringer over the left side. Boy, it's going to be close. Well, DeKalb seems to think they held him, and they did. Stopped Ringer about a yard short of the first down. They'll take over on downs. That's the second time that Norwell has threatened, gotten it into the red zone, but has not been able to punch it in. DeKalb taking over from their own 4-yard line, and well, good pursuit there by the DeKalb defense.
Yeah, it really was. DeKalb's defense has really been unstoppable, especially in the first half. This second half, they kind of let off a little bit, but they've pushed back on the pedal whenever they needed to.
They've bent but not broken. And Price with the handoff. Pushed back is Padilla, but his forward motion stopped just beyond the line of scrimmage. That'll make it 2nd and 10 for the Barons. Just starting the 4th quarter here. Boy, you just hate to see Norwell's offense not able to punch it in on those last couple of drives.
Yeah, but Norwell's confidence level, you can tell, especially with their offensive line. I think partially they look at the scoreboard and they realize how much farther they're down by, but then they're doing a great job with these opening plays in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
That was Padilla on the carry, about a 8-yard gain. We'll call it 3rd and 2. Well, the problem with Norwell's offense with the personnel that's in there right now is it's awfully one-dimensional from a running standpoint. Of course, you know, they were a threat to pass in the first half, but receivers not able to hang on to it, so at least they've had some success on the ground. That's going to be a 1st down and more for Lalonde on the carry over the left side. He gets all the way out to about the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Barons. Well, when they've needed the big play, they have consistently come up with it. But the good news for the Knights, they are playing against still a first-team offense here, trailing by 31. I think it's, other than the Heritage game, probably the longest they've played against a first-string offense. So that's progress. Under 10 minutes to go in this one. Price back to pass, looks for Crispin, finds him over the middle, but Crispin dropped short of the 1st down by Jaron Stoppenhagen. Good open field tackle there by Jaron.
Great low tackle. That's what we've really